Hi. Walking with Oliver. There's a couple people who have said something about just going through a really difficult time right now, and they're feeling like, what else could go wrong? And am I cursed? And, life sucks and that sort of thing. And sometimes when a bunch of stuff sort of randomly, but like ripple effect, like our dominoes, it's hard not to just sink, So I thought I'd share with you what I do. The first thing that I do is go to human being world. Like I go to what the heck and this sucks, and did I create this? And just all of the yucky things. And I stay up too late watching something on Netflix because I just want to be distracted, and my sleep gets messed up because I'm waking up really early with my mind spinning, and then that just messes up my my sleep schedule, and then my food schedule gets messed up, and then I'm craving unhealthy things that don't serve my goals, and then I'm just like, well, you've already blown it by eating one thing, so I'm just going to eat these 10 things. Doesn't seem like that's the choice I'm making at the time. It seems very logical at the time, but it's not. So I get it. I totally get it. And what I would say is, when I remember that that's what I'm doing, then I come back to breathing. Just, I do this 4 count thing, but whatever works for you, I just breathe. I breathe. I try to become aware of my body because I'm so in my head that I disconnect from my body. And I didn't realize that my shoulders were up to my ears in stress. And I'm like, bring them down. And that's what breathing does. And if it's really a difficult time, I set my alarm on my phone to go off every hour. And just to remind myself to stop, breathe, how am I doing? And then at a stoplight or on a commercial or whatever, or before I go to sleep and when I wake up in the morning, even if it's like last night, 3 a.m. I use my senses. And the reason why I use my senses is because it occupies my mind. It gives my mind something to do other than the yucky thing it was doing. And it calms me down enough so I can receive. Okay? So, what do I see right now? I see the train track. I see the white birches. What do I hear? I hear the gravel on my feet. What do I smell? I smell that musty smell of the woods, the decaying leaves and brush. I actually love that. What do I feel? Cold. I feel cold. It's December in Maine. It's cold. And then I do a body scan. I check out my feet. I can feel the cold wet of the ground. I love doing that. I love grounding. Because we're electric beings. We are electricity, lots of water in our blood. So grounding is like a scientific thing, not a woo-woo thing. It just grounds us. So how do my feet feel? And then I incorporate some gratitude with it. Thank you, feet. Boy, if I didn't have feet, getting around would be difficult. And for nearly 60 years, my feet have worked. Amazing. What great feet. My ankles, so I can walk easily. My calves, thank you, calves. Thank you, shins. I'm sorry for all the time I ran into stuff. My knees. Thank you, knees. Oh my gosh, I can bend my knees. And I see my daughter's Yorkie has bad knees, and it just, she struggles keeping up with everybody on a walk in the woods. I've got great knees. My hips, so I can walk. And I've got, so I just work my way up through my body. And my lungs. And that's just a reminder, just even saying the word is just a reminder to breathe. There have been countless times when anxiety was looming, like I was just hanging on a thread before one more thread, and I was going to be in an anxiety attack or panic attack, and breath prevented it. Just breathing, oxygenating, oxygenating. Yeah. Lots of oxygen really helps. And in the stopping and using your senses and doing a body scan, when you stop, right, and put your focus out of your thoughts, and by the way, if your thoughts are just like seemingly more powerful, and you're having a hard time, Oliver, we're gonna go that way, okay? That way. Yes. That's right. Yeah, we talk. If you're in a tailspin, hopefully you can catch it, before anxiety, but if you're already in a tailspin, then breathing. And there's a little trick that Ram Dass said once that I really liked, and I have another one too. So imagine sitting in front of a train, like train tracks. So there's like train tracks, right? And you're sitting on the other side, safe, and the train is moving really, really slowly. Like you could walk beside it, right? Really slowly. And they're boxcars. And whatever thoughts are coming up, oh my God, what if this happens? Oh, if she says this to me, then I'm going to say this to her. But if he says that, then I'm going to say this. And what am I going to do about this? Well, maybe I can do this. And you're catastrophizing, what if thinking, automatic negative thinking, ant thinking. Then each thing that pops up, physical ailment, into the boxcar. Thanks for sharing. As it goes, right? As it goes. fear, in the boxcar, anger in the boxcar. Just let it come up, name it, and put it in the boxcar. Thanks for sharing. And you'll find that you sort of start to run out, which is great, because it seems like it's like it would never run out. And then you can move to remember a time. And it'll pop into your imagination. Remember a time when you felt never more alive, right? When you were having the best time. It was so much fun. You just had a great time. And remember the people, and let go of any stories, the people and what you were wearing and how you felt and what you ate, and, you know, try to remember the smells, try to remember the people, try to remember what you heard, and allow yourself not to remember the joy, but to feel it as if you were actually there. So I did this thing where I've been going through my pictures, and I'm thinking, when did I feel like euphoric? Like when was that? Oh yeah, it's when I did that plane pull. It was, my team was called Beauty and the Beasts, you know, and all the girls we were the beasts, and we pulled the plane for MS, my friend Carl Tapp, it doesn't matter. So, I had so much fun that day. That was so cool. And there was another time, not at band camp, there was another time that, 2 times actually, that I was at a bodybuilding competition, and one of them I did this walk like an Egyptian thing, and one of my favorite memories, like that was so much fun. That was so much fun. So, so I have sometimes, so I was going through my pictures, and I'm going to make myself a collage, and have the collage be my wallpaper on my computer, because that will just remind me of joy and allowing myself to actually feel those feelings. Your body does not know the difference between real and imagined, okay? So if they put you in an MRI machine and they show you pictures of different things, you are going to have the same reaction as if you were there, but it's not there. They show you something scary, you're going to have the physiological reaction, even though, well, I mean, isn't that what an anxiety and panic attack and post-traumatic stress is, right? So the same is true for the good stuff. So every time, because we sort of get in a rut, particularly like when it's like one yucky thing that happened after another, we can get in a rut, you know? And so the way to fill in that rut, we can drive away smoothly, is to fill it in with gratitude, joy, and appreciation. Fear cannot live in the thoughts of gratitude and appreciation. It kicks it out. Darkness disappears when you turn on the light switch. So the way you turn on the light switch to dark or low energy, low vibration stuff, is to turn up those moments of joy. So a physical thing for me is I will turn on YouTube to American Bandstand. You know, Soul Train was my favorite. Like, I love Soul Train. And I will start dancing, and I will change my mood by you know, won't you take me to Funky Town? You know, maybe not that song, but there's some great songs. So I do that. Also, what we're doing right now, going for a walk in nature. Boy, I try to do this every day because it helps me. Do I have time to do this? No, I have 1,000,001 things to do. Oh my God. My daughter's coming tomorrow. She's going to be here for 2 weeks. I have to like get the sheets washed and, you know, I mean, I have stuff to do. But I needed to take my walk in the woods. I needed to take my walk in the woods. So that is what, my arm is hurting. I worked out today with Chris. I work out 2 days a week because that also helps me. You know, there are just things that are really important to maintaining my mental health. And that is, you know, sleep, nutrition, but, you know, things happen and you get in these little ruts and, you know, like I said, but there's stuff that we can control. We can't control, you know, so much we can't control. And when stuff we can't control happens and it negatively affects our world and our mind, then we have to like pull out our little recipe for getting the, you know, getting the train back on the tracks, you know, getting our feeling of in control, feeling confident, feeling optimistic, feeling like, hey, we've got some control over us. We might not have control over, run, Forrest, run. we might not have control. You really want a lot of joy in your life. Get a Papillon. Anyway, we might not have control over some of the stuff that happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. And, you know, that we're not perfect. You know, crap's gonna happen and it's gonna upset us, and that's normal stuff. And then as soon as we are consciously aware that it is, you know, causing us to not be the kind of people and live the kind of life that we want to, then it's time to like whip out these tools and try them. See what you think. These are the ones that I use. And getting sleep back on track, best thing for me is to be physically active. I don't want to because I'm tired, right? But be physically active so that, and then don't take a nap. And then stay up until my normal bedtime. So I was up at 3, did not take a nap. I'm not going to take a nap. I tried to do everything that I would normally do, like my walk in the woods and all that stuff. And I will make myself stay awake till 9 o'clock because that's my bedtime. And try to get myself back on the schedule. So anyway, those are some of the tricks that I use. When you go for a walk, I like not listening to anything or doing anything on the walk usually. But if you don't have the time, Michael Singer has a bunch of YouTubes. One of them is Remove the Inner Thorn, which I thought was really good. He has some really great practices for what to do with those fears and thoughts and stories that come into our mind. That's really cool. Byron Katie has Who Would You Be Without Your Story? And she has this thing called thework.com, which is really cool. Boundaries is always an issue, particularly during the holidays. There's a guy who wrote a book called Boundaries. It's got a lot of scripture stuff in it, so if that doesn't float your boat, it doesn't take away the value of what he has to say. So I hope you can put judgment aside and like listen to it. It's very good. So those are my recommendations, and if there's one thing that you can eliminate, if you can eliminate alcohol, if you can eliminate sugar, if you can eliminate carbs at dinner, those little carb rate adjustments will also help you to physically feel better, mentally feel better, and sleep better. So, all right, I am back at the house. If you are still with me at 20 minutes, God bless you. When people ask me to say something in a minute or less or whatever, like reels and things, I'm like, man, I can't even say hi in a minute. Anyway, I hope that me sharing the things that I do help you. I hope they help. That's why I take the time to share the things that I do, because I don't want to get emotional. I'm tired. Don't get emotional. Don't get emotional. When I was young, in the throes of depression and anxiety and panic and post-traumatic stress and night terrors and all this stuff, there wasn't a cell phone, there wasn't the internet, and I don't think I didn't have one. There wasn't this way of sharing. I mean, where I got turned on to stuff in the early 80s was on the Oprah show, when she brought Gary Zukav and Wayne Dyer and Brian Weiss and Joan Borsinko and John Bradshaw, and that is how I got started, right? But there wasn't anybody like me telling me that they understand what I'm going through, because they're going through it, and like sharing what they've tried and what's worked. So the reason why I do this is for the old me. If the old me, or somebody who's where I was, is watching this, and I can share something that they're willing to try and it brings peace to them, wow, yay, yay. So that's why I do it, and I hope that it helps.